the Bartlett Hawks, the first ever meeting between these two schools. Hi, everybody. I am Perry Williams, and welcome to our 9th and final regular season game here on TCI. And, John, we have a good one for everybody as these teams are meeting for the very first time.
Very first time. Should be a great rivalry for years to come. A lot of these guys, neighborhood rivals, went to the same junior high, played in the same junior football program, so it should make for a hard-hitting, good battle on the field.
Well, field repairs at Millennium Field have forced the move here this week, but let's hear what the coaches had to say about tonight's matchup.
We've had a lot of positive experiences this year, not on the winning side. We've got one victory, and we won by a forfeit. But we played some great first halves, and we played last week. We played Elgin. It was 9-0 in their favor, but it was a 3-0 with 6 minutes to go in the ball game. So our kids are improving vastly. We've had some injuries that hurt us a little bit, but the injured people are coming back, and we should be pretty solid for the Streamwood game.
We started out 0-2 and then went into St. Charles, and they're ranked 3rd in the state, and we played a great ball game. Our quarterback, Scott Brown, who has just set a state record for attempts without an interception. Right now he stands at 251 attempts. The old record was 175. He had an outstanding game against St. Charles, and we just came short against them in a 28-14 ball game. And since that point, we have played real good football. Capped by this last Sunday, beating Waubonsee Valley down in Death Valley with a shutout, 20-0.
They're a good football team. I scouted them Sunday afternoon over to Waubonsee, and they just did a tremendous job. They look like a college team, but they're not. But their quarterback 6'4", 190, and they got a kid named Iola, number 77 there. I think he's 6'7", about 280. So, and they got other kids in size. One thing we might have on them a little bit is quickness, but they do have some quick kids, good receivers also.
We're going to expect pretty much seeing the old Elgin offense and defense, and it's interesting watching both Nequa and Bartlett as you see that they develop, from the beginning of the season to the end of the season. You see great improvement. They're doing a much better job running their offense, getting confidence that way, playing better defense, and it's really the type of team that you'd hope to catch early. They've gotten a lot better, and it should be interesting to see how this group also develops.
Well, John, that's what the coaches had to say. Let's focus on Bartlett. The Hawks come in with a record of 2-6, but they play all underclassmen.
Yeah, it's a unique thing. Obviously, last year in their first year as the school, they played all junior varsity ball, so this is their first year ever in the school playing varsity football, and like you said, no seniors, so they've been having a little bit of trouble this year, but all these guys are coming back next year, and they're getting very valuable game experience.
And we'll be seeing Dustin Rich out of the backfield.
I get a couple breakaway backs. Dustin Rich is one of those. Very quick, very elusive. He's a threat to score every time he catches the ball. He is one of their many two-way players, likes to play in the defensive backfield. He says he is going to break that record and pick off one of Scott Brown's passes.
And defensively, Jeff Bonsall.
Oh, man, this guy is in on a lot of plays all over the field. His number 33 plays that inside linebacker spot. Very tough, real strong tackler.
Well, let's talk about Streamwood now. The Sabres record on 5-3. They're still hoping to make the playoffs.
Yeah, what a season it's been for them. Started off a little bit slow. They lost their first 3 games. Since then, they have got on a roll. 5 straight wins. They need to win tonight to have a chance at the state playoffs.
And you mentioned their outstanding quarterback, Scott Brown. 10 touchdown passes this year, no interception.
10 touchdown passes, 8 running touchdowns. So he's a double threat. Tremendous. He has the state record for most completions without an interception. Hopefully we won't jinx him, but he is one of the best quarterbacks in the area.
And one of the best linemen we'll see in Sam Ayala.
Yeah, just a dominant type offensive lineman. He plays defensive end, but where he's really strong is on the offensive line. Plays that strong guard spot. Going to be a Division I player. Just outstanding, number 77.
So there you have it, the first ever meeting between Bartlett and Streamwood. We'll kick it off here next, right on TCI.
Here at TCI, we're proud to serve the community. And a big part of that is keeping a strong focus on the family. From the TCI Education Project to our involvement in local events, our goal is to put families first.
We believe Disney Channel adds value to TCI's expanded base of cable, and we're happy to support TCI in their goal of providing quality family programming that educates as well as entertains.
family programming matters. TCI is committed to providing quality entertainment the whole family can enjoy. And we're going to keep that commitment.
Okay, welcome back to Memorial Field here in Elgin. And Bartlett took the kickoff, and they have it 1st and 10 at the 33. And here's the give on first down to the running back. Number 22, Cater. Nice run on first down.
Cater with the good run. And this, once again, Perry, we've had some great weather for our high school football games. And I'll tell you, on a rare Thursday night game, as we'll get a look at the replay here, one of the two running backs for the Bartlett Hawks. Cater taking a good run on the right-hand side. Some nice blocking up front. And a good pickup early for the Bears. But as I was saying, just a perfect night for high school football on a rare Thursday night game.
Well, here we have a 1st and 10, and here the Hawks come on first down and more yardage. And it was Rich, ball carrier, who had returned that open kickoff, 23 yards or so. So they're in business, moving the football on the ground over the first couple of plays, all the way into Streamwood territory on the 36-yard line.
Yeah, you get a look on the replay here. Nice cutback up the field, and early on, a little bit of a surprise because one of the advantages Streamwood was supposed to have was in the line, much bigger size both offensively and defensively, but so far, the offensive line for Bartlett doing the job.
And they tried to get one of the players to bounce offside, but on the first down, for the first down, is Dustin Rich. We thought we'd give our viewers a little something special, our last regular season game, kind of the announcer list kickoff. And sometimes they think we talk too much, but thought we'd give them that little special treat as we have game 9.
I was very impressed the way you did the dead sprint up the stands there as we get a look at the junior quarterback, Vince DiMaria, outstanding athlete. You can see him a lot tonight. He'll be punting, playing some defensive back, but right now, at quarterback, as you see right there.
Well, nothing doing that time. They tried to go to the second runner through, and that was Rich, but he was stuck right at the line of scrimmage.
Again, Streamwood coming to the ball game with a 5-3 record. Need to win this game, and they've won 5 in a row. Need to win this ball game to have a chance, and we'll go over a little bit the playoff possibilities later on, but they have to win this one certainly to have any kind of a chance of making the state playoffs. Tough defensive team, the Streamwood Sabres. They will play primarily with a 5-man front defensively.
Ball resting at the 30-yard line, and here's the give to the second man through. Once again, just stuffed right at the line of scrimmage, and making really a textbook tackle on the play was Eric Anderson.
Yeah, and Eric Anderson has been really involved defensively. Number 55 made the tackle on the play before, and he comes up there. You get a look at the senior linebacker. He has really played solid. John Pageant just raving about the work of Eric Anderson, a senior linebacker. Didn't get to play a whole lot last year, but he has stepped in and really shored up the defensive unit for Streamwood. I said, Perry, they play a 5-man front, 4-man front. Pretty straightforward, not a lot of blitzing, 4-2 look, but they will play straight up.
And the first time they'll go for the air, and they're going for it all, and it is picked off. Picked off defensively goes, and it is Matt Ryan with the deflection interception. So the Streamwood Sabres come up defensively. There is a flag at the end of that play, but they come up with the interception and stop the Bartlett Hawks offensive drive.
Get a look at there on the replay. DiMaria back. He did not read the free safety back there. Matt Ryan, who makes the nice pick, gets a good run back. We'll see what the penalty call is, but either way, a fine offensive first drive for the Bartlett Hawks is going to go for nil.
What? On White? The illegal use of hands, number 89.
Well, there you have the call. Illegal use of hands after the interception, so they'll tack it on and moves it all the way up to the 30-yard line. And this is where the Streamwood Sabre offense will take over for the first time here tonight. And they're led by their quarterback, Scott Brown. He is one of their captains, a senior, 6'4", 190. We saw him last year at the dedication of Millennium Field. And here he sets him down 10 touchdowns through the air, 8 on the ground. He goes to the air right away, and Graziano over the middle, number 13. He's at the 40. He has some running room. He's at the 50. Here's Mike Graziano, and he could go all the way. Finally, Richie brings him down right at about the 5-yard line.
And I think you're going to look, Scott Brown, the quarterback, doing a great job heading downfield, throwing a block. But what a first call by John Padgett and the Streamwood Sabres. Screen pass. I think the Bartlett team thought, man, defensive line's going to be pretty easy tonight. They all rushed in on the quarterback, but was all set up. Screen play, first play. They had it planned in practice. And Graziano takes it almost the distance to the entire field. Great execution by Streamwood.
Dustin Rich finally brings him down to save the touchdown, but they're in business at the 6-yard line. First and goal at the 6. And he does the little fake and rolls to his right, looking in the end zone. Nothing there. Looks like a little mix-up on the passing routes.
And remember, the key thing to remember about Scott Brown, he has not only beaten Perry Williams, he has destroyed the state record for most consecutive passes without being intercepted. Previous record, Ken Stopka, Palatine with 175. Brown working on a record now. There you get a look at him, the senior quarterback. 250 after that one, now 252 consecutive passes without an interception, by far a state record.
Well, he sets him down. The deep tailback is Michael Jackson. And here's Jackson with the football. Spins around one tackler, but then is stopped around the 5-yard line. So good defensive play by the Bartlett defense.
Like defensive end Dane Suffer, number 89. You'll see him playing both ways in on the tackle. But you get a look here at the featured running back for the Streamwood Sabres, Michael Jackson. Only a sophomore, but an explosive runner. Nice little spin move right there, but credit the Bartlett defense. Bartlett looking fired up early tonight as they go gang tackling Mike Jackson and pretty much stuff him on that particular run.
Now Graziano is the lone tailback, and Golombek is spread out to the right, and Brown looking into the end zone, running out of time. Finally, a touchdown pass from 6 yards out, his 11th of the season, and it's completed to Brian Sloan, his 3rd of the year.
Boy, you could see the tremendous composure of Scott Brown there back in the pocket. He gets good blocking as the Streamwood fans have reason to celebrate early here, and he goes to his favorite target. Watch Brown. He'll have plenty of time. Nice play-action fake. Little 3-step drop, looks to his left, and then finds a wide open Brian Sloan in the end zone. Nice job by Brown. Nice hands by Brian Sloan, and credit the offensive line for giving Scott Brown the time.
Here's the extra point attempt up, and it is good. Converted there by Logan Reed. So with 8:01 remaining in our first quarter, the Streamwood Sabres offense comes roaring back, taking advantage of an interception. But the big play was the pass that started it all, to Graziano, who took it from the 30-yard line all the way to the 6. Here's the touchdown, John. On 3rd and goal from the 6.
Yeah, the play-action fake by Scott Brown is what set it up. You could see it held off the Bartlett rush, and then Sloan, who's a real big target to throw to, 6'4", about 215, good size, kind of your classic high school tight end, and a great start for Streamwood. Man, seemed like only a minute ago Bartlett was driving down the field in good shape, and how quickly the fortunes can change here as Streamwood now up 7-0. It's so important for a young team like Bartlett to be able to stay close early in the game. I'm sure Coach Dick Stevens and his staff have emphasized that to their Bartlett team.
And there's Sloan to kick it off, kind of the baseball, really make a good defensive play and lead off the next inning. Scores the touchdown. Here he is kicking it off. And it's taken there by Rich. And he's trying to find some running room. Eludes one tackler. Now he's at the 25-yard line. And a nice little return by Dustin Rich. So the Bartlett Hawks come back, and not easy to build a program, but we saw the Hawks sophomore team win impressively here tonight, and that is really saying something when you consider the fact that so many sophomores and juniors are playing varsity for Bartlett this year.
Yeah, last year, their first year of the school, they played a junior varsity schedule. Coach Stevens, the head coach, coached them. They were 5-6 last year at the JV level.
Well, nothing fencing here. They just go straight ahead, and the Streamwood defense answers the call. Now let's go to Jason Bell joining us once again this week. Jason.
Perry, John, you might have heard the PA guy say the first touchdown between Bartlett and Streamwood in history. That's because Bartlett just starting their program last year, this being the first year that they have a varsity team. Lots of young guys on the team. Streamwood's going to want to jump on them early and shake their confidence. And Scott Brown sets a record every time he throws the ball without an interception, now up to 254 attempts in a row without throwing a pick. Back to you guys.
Well, thank you, Jason. And here's the pitch out, and it goes to Dustin Rich again. And he has been a very, very busy ball carrier here in the first quarter.
And look at Vince DiMaria there. They will, Bartlett will work out of a split backfield veer option, running-oriented offense. DiMaria, a good passer, but a very mobile quarterback. He'll do some running. You saw Dustin Rich there, who's their main running back, but also Andrew Cater, or Al Cater, we should say, number 22. So they've got some dangerous running threats, and I'm sure they're going to try to establish some ground control, and they were pretty effective in the first drive.
Well, big third down play, 3rd and 2. And one thing you want to do is establish some ball control here. They pitch it wide and tried to find some running room at the corner, and denied was the running back Al Cater. So the bring up a 4th down situation. Cater just ran out of the running room, as defended nicely there.
Well, he ran out of running room because Brian Deluski, number 21, was doing a great job of containment from his corner. Number 9, Brandon Garcia on the chase, too, but credit Deluski for holding his spot, holding containment, and coming up with the tackle. Nice job by the Streamwood defense. They will force an early punt.
Now, DiMaria is the punter. He averages 37 yards a kick so far this year, and he will step back to his own 25-yard line and try to boom it away.
Deluski, the guy who made the tackle, one of the 2 guys deep.
It's a nice little kick out of it, and it's taken at the 32-yard line up to the 40. Finally brought down to the 41-yard line is Deluski, and that's where we get our second look at the Streamwood Sabre offense and Scott Brown.
Nice coverage there by Bartlett. Al Cater, number 22. You're going to hear some names quite a bit for Bartlett because with injuries and others, they are down now to 28 players. So, Perry, a lot of guys going both ways for the Bartlett Hawks, and their conditioning and how well they hold up as we get a look at Al Cater, who made that tackle, will be one of the keys, I think, in the second half.
Well, Oliva is the up back, but Brown goes deep again. Now he is taken down. Brown is down, taken down by Techmeyer. Dave Techmeyer with the sack.
Well, what a nice job. And really, outside of the one big turnover, the Bartlett Hawks fired up tonight. Watch Drew Techmeyer. Good rush as you see him blitzing from the outside. Techmeyer able to get it, and really number 30 was the one who flushed him out for Bartlett. Nice job, number 30, Brad Costardo. So good pass rush early by the Hawks.
Here's a good look at the profile of Drew, the sophomore.
A lot of sophomores, a lot of juniors, no freshmen, but it is a varsity team entirely made up of sophomores and juniors. And boy, you talked to Coach Dick Stevens, some of the people that have followed the program, their team attitude through some tough defeats this year has just been outstanding, Perry, and they know this is a building year and they're building for the future. Of course, they would love nothing better than to finish their season by upsetting Streamwood.
Jeff Bonsall, one of the players we featured in our Open as the injured player on the field.
This is really tough for Bartlett because Bonsall is the heart and soul, literally, of their defense, the inside linebacker, their leading tackler. They are already missing Dante Frazier, who got injured last week, maybe their best secondary guy. There's a look at Jeff Bonsall. Hopefully, it's only going to be a minor injury, but man, you take him out of their defense, already missing Dante Frazier, and the Hawks are going to be in trouble.
Well, he leaves the field on his own power, and it sets up a 2nd down and 13 situation.
Looks like he'll be able to come back in after a couple plays. And Scott Brown, what a senior season he has had. You'll be watching him play after this year, no doubt. A lot of Big Ten schools are after Mr. Brown. Minnesota, Iowa, Northwestern, a lot of MAC schools after him too. So Division I football clearly in the future of number 12. But right now he just wants to beat the Bartlett Hawks.
Now they move Jackson into motion to the left side, Michael Jackson, but Brown going downtown and dropped. Perfectly laid in there, and Anwar Jones was there. He just cannot get his hands wrapped around and hold on to the football.
Man, oh man, Anwar Jones is going to close his eyes. He's going to excuse and leave the film room when they show this play during Monday or Tuesday's practice. A beautiful pass by Scott Brown. Look at Brown. Look at the tight spiral, and he throws this thing perfectly. And Jones just takes his eyes off the ball. Normally an outstanding receiver. Had a huge game last week, a couple of touchdowns, but that time Anwar is going to want that one back. What a great pass by Scott Brown.
So it sets up a third down, and Brown with the play action, and he sets up a screen at Jackson at the 40-yard line. Here's Michael Jackson at the 50, and he's very close to the first down, and it looks like he has picked it up, and a flag is thrown from the far sideline. So we'll see what that situation is.
Set up the screen play. They're obviously working that play to effectiveness. Their scouting report is showing that time it was Jackson. The play before Graziano. Brad Bartlett, 61, saving the touchdown. Brad Bartlett. Referee Don Brandt, and you're getting a look at Don. 30 years of officiating, Perry. Is that the surrender? I think he's surrendering after 30 years.
Yeah, they're picking up the flag, so.
But Don Brandt has been officiating 30 years, and this will be his final season. Of course, these crew will probably be doing a state playoff game, so it's not his final game, but Don Brandt,
well,
in his last season.
Certainly a lot of coaches and fans and student athletes should thank him for the time and his commitment, because he certainly need the men in stripes to make this all well officiated. So first down at the 45 on that pass to Jackson. They're going again, and wide open in the corner, but overthrowing him was Ed Blummer. So Blummer was there, but the Brown was a little too strong in that attempt.
Now you can see Streamwood extremely confident in their passing game. They've got a great offensive line anchored by Sam Aiello, Matt Ulrich, and others, but giving Scott Brown all kinds of time. And Bartlett, on the other hand, is going to bring everybody up and stop the run, force them to pass the ball. So it's really putting a lot of pressure on the Bartlett defensive backs. We'll see how they hold up. There's been some open receivers early.
Well, Jones could not find the handle. That time too strong for Blummer. So it is now 2nd and 10 at the 45, and this time to Jackson on the ground. Picks up maybe 4 yards on the second down carry, setting up a third down situation.
Solid tackle inside. Dane Suffern, number 89 with the tackle. And there's a look at the sophomore, maybe the star of the future, if not the present for the Streamwood Sabres, Michael Jackson. You got to love the name, but even more so, Perry, you got to love the way this kid plays football. Literally a threat to score every time he touches the ball, and he has just tapped his potential for the future. He's going to be a good one.
Every time he touches the ball, he is certainly a thriller to watch.
Not going to get any white glove jokes from me, my friend.
So it is now 3rd and 6, gain of 4 for Jackson and Brown in the passing situation. Straight drop over the middle. It is complete for the first down. Once again, his target is Brian Sloan down to the 21-yard line. So that is a gain of 21 yards.
Finally brought down by Jeremy Baldwin, number 32. But watch here again. Plenty of time for Scott Brown, and he is so cool in the pocket. Notice the way he is looking off one receiver, going to the other guy. Great job by Brown. And Brian Sloan, his favorite receiver, just sucks up the ball, makes sure he takes care of the ball, and then picks up extra yards afterwards. Brown, impressive early.
So a very cool and crisp autumn evening here. Very good look at Brian Sloan. Caught the touchdown pass from 6 yards out here in the first quarter, where we have 3:37 remaining. Playing the game in Elgin. The home team is the Streamwood Sabres. The visitors in white, the Bartlett Hawks. First ever meeting between these two clubs. So 1st and 10 at the 22. Here's Jackson with the football down to the 15. Gain of 7 and first down. Quick up the middle goes Michael Jackson.
Nice tackle again. That's Jeff Bonsall, I believe, number 33, back in the game for Bartlett. So that's a good sign for the Hawks. Michael Jackson trying to get that running game going early. Streamwood offensively runs out of the West Coast offense. I asked Coach John Padgett, have you run the West Coast all along, or when did you put it in? He said, as soon as we saw Scott Brown play. The offense is geared for their very mobile quarterback.
That's adjusting your scheme to the talent you have, and they certainly have had success. You're 5-3 this year.
There's the 3-step drop.
And over, and it is complete inside the 10, down to the 5-yard line. And it goes to Golombek. Rob Golombek catches it down to the 5.
Doing a nice job, too, of getting all of his receivers involved in the game. Streamwood's early on game plan very effective. There's the 3-step drop. Dustin Rich on the coverage, but you can't take it away when they throw an out pass like that. Nice timing between Brown and Golombek.
So there they are, knocking on the door again. 1st and goal at the 5.
Offensive coordinator for the Streamwood Sabres is Bill Pastore. He's the one calling the offensive plays.
This time they split the backs. And there you see Brown. He must have slipped already, and they whistle it play over.
Didn't look like he tripped over anybody. You see Scott Brown shaking his head, just one of those things. Here, the field looks like it's in ideal playing conditions. A lot of rain earlier in the week, but it's been pretty dry for a few days, and should be good playing conditions. You see Brown getting the play call from their offensive coordinator, Bill Pastore, and see if they can get touchdown number 2, 2nd down from the 8-yard line, and we'll see if they send Michael Jackson behind that big offensive line.
Well, that ended up being a loss of 3 on the play. And once again, Brown is having trouble with his footing. Gets it again, but this time he is dropped. And it's Vince DiMaria coming up with the tackle.
Yeah, some of the offensive stars starring on defense for Bartlett. Again, pretty good pass rush this time. They've been able to pressure at times Scott Brown. And you're right, the quarterback, DiMaria, from his quarterback spot. Nice pressure there, and he's able to make the sack. Credit the other defensive linemen, the guys up front, for flushing Brown out and allowing DiMaria to make the sack. So here comes a big 3rd down play. You got to figure this one's worth 4 points. If they don't make it, probably field goal.
Quarterback on quarterback has to feel good. Loss of 2, 3rd and goal from the 10. Brown again with a deep drop, running out of time, but Sloan is there alone in the end zone as he beat DiMaria in the corner. Brian Sloan with his 2nd touchdown on the night, and both on the arm of Scott Brown.
Boy, and those two have really locked in early here in the first quarter. You see Brian Sloan getting congratulations from his teammates. Watch Scott Brown here. He's going to get some pressure from Dane Suffer, number 89, from the outside, but he's able to maintain his cool. Good pass rush there, and Brown on a little bit of a rollout, finding his favorite target, Brian Sloan. And, man, early on, those guys are dominating. Michael Bartlett, 83 for Bartlett, putting on the rush.
Here's Reed with the extra point, and it is up and good. So with 1:26 remaining in our first quarter, between this first ever meeting between Streamwood and Bartlett, the Sabres are leading it on the strength of 2 touchdown passes, both from Brown to Sloan, here on your TCI Game of the Week.
I'll tell you, this Streamwood team, they started out slow, Perry. Lost their first 3 games. We're working some new players in. Another look at the replay of the touchdown. There you see the pass rush coming. Bartlett, number 83, right now is on the chase. But Scott Brown hears no footsteps and finds a wide-open Brian Sloan. Bartlett's defensive backs are going to have to maintain closer pressure there, or they're going to be in for a long, long afternoon. But started to say Streamwood losing those first 3 games, but they've just been on a roll. Last week, a huge win, beating Wabansie Valley 28-14.
Now let's go down to the field and Jason Bell.
Perry, John, a couple weeks ago we saw Russ Mickna of Conan, who had been up to that point the best quarterback we had seen. Scott Brown might be a little better than Mickna. He is unbelievable so far, throwing for 2 touchdowns. Of course, the record holder for passes without an interception. And Coach Padgett told me before the game, a straight-A student recruited by Minnesota, Iowa, Northwestern, and Miami of Florida. Back to you guys.
Well, Betcher with a return there, and of course the Miami of Florida, they've certainly have put a few talented quarterbacks through that system over the years.
I'd say those are some pretty good schools coming after you, and we saw Scott Brown play last year, and it's still early, our first real look at him this year, but early on you can tell what a much more confident passer he is back there in the pocket. But right now we're going to get a look at Vince DiMaria, 3rd chance for the Bartlett Hawks and their offensive unit.
Well, they kind of spread people apart, but let's see what they do. They keep it on the ground instead and try to go up the middle. Not much happening there for Cater. Al Cater, the ball carrier, and he averages about 3 yards a carry. He's a sophomore, 6 feet, 164 pounds. There you see big Sam Ayala.
About 6'7", 295 pounds, working on 300, but we're going to call it 295. Sam Ayala, he kind of switches off at that defensive end spot with Matt Ulrich, both of them stars on the offensive line, but great tackle that time by big number 77.
They have some great size up front, does Streamwood, anchored by Ayala. And there's the pitch. They go wide. And it's Rich again, and not much doing there. Nicely defended by the Sabre defensive squad. And in on the stop, a host of tacklers.
And Brandon Garcia, number 9, looked like he was the first to get there, but the Streamwood obviously has scouted Bartlett. They're going to step up, force Bartlett to pass the ball, force DeMaria to put the ball up in the air. They're playing their lanes very well against the, so far, veer option or running game of the Bartlett Hawks. Dustin Rich not able, outside of the first couple of runs, not able to get much going early.
Well, they hustle up to the football. There's only 4 seconds remaining in the quarter, and they do get the play off, and there was a stop there. The play really went nowhere. And number 34, Dan Gerhardt, from his defensive end start spot, was the one who made the sack as the first quarter comes to an end at Memorial Field here in Elgin. And after one, your score is the Streamwood Sabres 14, the Bartlett Hawks nothing, on 2 touchdown passes. Brown to Sloan.
There's a world where you are very well known. You don't need a name tag, and everything you want is brought to your front door. Here, life is good, because it's easier for you to get and give the information you want from anywhere to everywhere. We've done that for you for quite some time, and we're getting better at it every day. TV, telephone, internet, TCI. Now, there's a better way.
Welcome back to Elgin, and here's Bartlett kicking off, and DeMaria, and a fair catch is taken there by Graziano. And our second quarter's underway. Perry Williams, along with John Cohen and Jason Bell and Stephen Baldwin, our stat man, joining us in the booth. Fighting a bit of a cold here myself, so we will struggle through and persevere and get on with our final regular season matchup here on TCI, game number 9 on our schedule. We'll touch on the playoff situation a little bit later. And, of course, don't forget this late fall and winter we'll have basketball returns here on TCI as well, boys and girls. Here's Scott Brown, a couple touchdown passes in the first quarter. Pitches back this time to Michael Jackson, and he is stopped there right at the line of scrimmage, and coming in to make the stop looks like it was Dane Suffren.
And Dane Suffren, number 89, playing a heck of a game so far. Coach Dick Stevens saying probably their most effective defensive lineman, and early on we can see why. He's been in on a ton of plays so far. Number 89, two-way players, probably their top receiver on offense, but right now doing the job for the Hawks defensively. They like to play a 5-man front. They'll mix it up a little bit defensively, 5-man front, 4-man front, Bartlett. They will definitely try and stop the run first, force you to pass. Of course, that's a dangerous strategy when you got a quarterback like Scott Brown.
Anwar Jones down to the left side, and it's intended for Jones. He catches this one, and he could be off. Here goes Jones. No one will touch him. Touchdown, Streamwood. This one from 57 yards out.
There's the star of last week's game, Anwar Jones, making up for that miss in the first quarter. You see him getting congratulations from his teammates, and you will watch on the replay just a bullet of a pass by Scott Brown. Really, the coverage by Dustin Rich, not bad. That's just a great pass. You see the coverage was there. Rich missing the tackle, and then Anwar Jones, sheer speed after that, outrunning the Bartlett secondary. And, man, impressive passing game early. 3 touchdowns on the board. We're barely a quarter old.
Well, a quarter and 1 minute, and here's the extra point up, and it is good. So with 11 minutes remaining till halftime, our score is now Streamwood 21, Bartlett nothing on your TCI of Illinois High School Game of the Week.
Boy, tough situation right now for Bartlett, young team. You're all fired up for neighborhood rivalry. First ever meeting between these two schools, and down 21-0 early. Psychologically, that's got to be tough right now, Perry, but they've been through it before. They know they're a young team, and I think Dick Stevens will keep them up. But it is a tough situation early.
Well, let's take another peek of the touchdown. And here is Brown again, and getting all sorts of time, John. And Jones ran a very solid route and made sure he had the ball this time, and it'll stop and go. And he got the ball at the 42, and his pure speed took it from there. So a touchdown pass of 57 yards, the third on the night for Scott Brown. He now has 13 on the season, and the lead is now up 21-0.
You Look at head coach John Padgett, who can't tell from the picture there, but probably relaxing just a little bit inside with that 21-0 lead. His 6th year as the head coach and doing a fine job here for the Streamwood Sabres. Head coach at Immaculate Conception before coming to Streamwood.
There's the kickoff, and they will take it at the 20 and to the 30-yard line. Finally dropped it to 35 is Betcher, and that's where the offense will take over for the Bartlett Hawks. They average 8 points a game. They've given up an average of 18 a game. So they've already surpassed that defensively, much to their chagrin, and they're trying to get their offense on track. Of course, with a young club like that, they lost last week to Elgin.
Yeah, played
9-0.
Good
game.
Right in it. One of their victories, we should mention early on, the forfeit game, I believe, against Glenbard North, but they have been in many of the games and have been improving each and every game. Nice tackle.
And nothing doing and making the tackle was Matt Ulrich, who you've mentioned frequently here, one of their star players defensively.
Yeah, he can hide, and when you say hide, when you're 6'4", 260 pounds, I don't know, you hide. But Sam Ayala gets most of the publicity this year. But Matt Ulrich, only a junior. You can be sure every college scout in America knows about this young kid. Another Division I prospect, but again, only a junior.
Well, after this play, we'll check in with Jason Bell, and there's some plays. Let's go down to Jason Bell now.
Perry, John, Anwar Jones just cut that touchdown, but he was also the guy in the previous drive that dropped that bomb. Came off the field very distraught, and he walked up to me, and he goes, "Didn't you see me slip? Didn't you see me slip?" I said, "Anwar, don't worry, you'll get it next time." And sure enough, the very next drive, they go right to him. The guy runs in the end zone for a touchdown, comes back off the field. I walked out to him. I said, "I told you so." He just smiled and patted me on the back. So we at TCI get involved in all aspects of the game. Back to you guys.
John Padgett would like to announce that Jason Bell has just joined the Streamwood assistant coaching staff as their wide receivers coach. Be joining the team next year.
Well, the crew over at Bartlett would hope, hey, maybe that he can work with our secondary as well. There is just slipping was DiMaria for the loss. He basically just fell down, and he'll take a look at it, and you'll see he'll lose his footing here as he backpedaled.
Well, that happened once to Scott Brown down on the other drive, so maybe the field still suffering a little bit from some torrential rain we did have about 3-4 days ago. We walked around a little bit, Perry, on the field, and seemed to be in good shape. I had you run some 100-yard sprints out there, and you look pretty good.
Yeah, no problem. I can still do it. Run up to the press box in time.
23-second time concerned me a little bit.
And DiMaria is going to keep the football, and he goes up to the 30-yard line, but he's met head-on there. And Jason Garcia was the one making the stop.
That's the second hard hit we've seen from Garcia, and it looked like DiMaria, who can scramble, can run with the ball. He's having some trouble with his footing, but Garcia coming up with a solid stop. And there, as they look at the opposing coach for the Bartlett Hawks, Dick Stevens. Really, this would be his first year as the varsity head coach. Of course, Dick did coach him last year at the junior varsity level.
Good profile there, Dick Stevens.
9 years as an assistant at Elgin, went to Battle Creek Central School, and then back for 9 more years at Elgin before getting the head job at Bartlett.
Yeah, this time the Hawks will punt it away, and they get a nice roll on it all the way down inside the 20-yard line. So a nice punt just down there at the 17, and that's where the Streamwood Sabre offense will take over, and the Bartlett defense back on the field. Now we've seen it several times so far this year, John, where
I did not foul unnecessary roughness on number 12 on the white.
Well, he missed that flag, but there you heard it, so.
Yeah, they got the penalty on the quarterback, DiMaria.
Who's also the punter.
Who's also the defensive back.
Right. So that will kind of get them out of that hole there, and they'll march off the yardage. You know what I was going to allude to earlier? Several times this year we've seen, if you would have an underdog team, take that opening drive and march it downfield, and something happens, they don't convert it into a score, and they just kind of lose that momentum and excitement. It's awfully hard to get it back, and that's so far what happened here tonight. Bartlett had some good runs in that first drive. There was an interception, and 3 Brown touchdown passes later, they find themselves down 21-0. And that was the inside carry, not much there. It was set up a second down situation.
Nice job, Clint Flauter, number 51, 6 foot, 180-pound junior in the middle of that defensive pile up there. And at times, Bartlett's been able to actually overall for the game, they've done a nice job of stopping the running game. There you see the solid junior Clint Flauter plays, again, both ways for the Bartlett Hawks. He'll play some offensive line for them also. In fact, he is their center.
Inside 8 minutes now, till halftime. Brown will give to the second man through Jackson, and Jackson fighting close to the first down. He looks to be a little bit shy.
Justin Duchette, number 31, hanging on, and I do mean hanging on for dear life, able to stop Michael Jackson. Jackson, not yet a tremendous power back. He's got great speed. I'm sure that's something he'll be working on between. Remember, this guy's only a sophomore. Between his sophomore and junior years, improving that strength. But Mike Jackson, still an explosive running back. Nice job by Duchette that time of stopping him.
Well, they're going to measure here for the first down. Let's take a peek at the measurement. There you see some of the steam coming off the heads once that helmet is off. And still have the eyes. He's still a bit shy of that first down marker. So we'll set up a third and short situation for Streamwood. Boy, but they have some big fellas up front, that's for sure.
Yeah, Streamwood's offensive line, one of the biggest in the area, if not the state.
And Jackson, and he has running room now. Rich will try to get him. He cannot get him. He gets a nice block there by Graziano, and it is a touchdown.
Yeah, Graziano just able to get in front of that block so there wasn't a clip, and this time the congratulations being accepted by Michael Jackson. And the Streamwood fans have had a lot to cheer about early in this game. Watch the blocking up front. He really has only one guy to beat, and Michael Jackson does it with a nice little shake and bake move, and then it's his speed outrunning Dustin Rich, who was covering on the right side of the corner. Michael Jackson with the score.
It's Gallenbeck with a nice block there, correction. Then Jackson goes 58 yards for the touchdown. And there you see the officials stopping play. And they're pointing the scoreboard for some reason. Nevertheless, we'll get all straightened around. And there you see a happy Jackson. And they will attempt the extra point.
Looks like Don Brand's going to kick that extra point.
And the kick is up, and it is good. So after 3 times scoring via the passing route, Streamwood says, hey, watch us do it on the ground. And the man doing the honors is one Michael Jackson. 58 yards for the score. 28-0 now. Streamwood over Bartlett on your TCI Illinois Game of the Week.
Now they're happy on the sidelines there for Streamwood. 5 wins in a row. Huge win last week, 28-14 over Waubonsie. Again, just crushing offensive line play there as Jackson really only had to beat number 63 for Bartlett. Then it was off to the races. Tremendous blocking up front. Rob Belts, the center. Steve Brown, a right guard, the 3-year varsity player. A couple guys we haven't mentioned on that offensive line, but I think Bartlett has run into a juggernaut today. Early Perry, Streamwood up 28-0. You can just tell this is a team playing with all kinds of confidence right now. They have scored each time they've gotten the ball. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns for the Streamwood Sabres. Impressive.
And it was actually the first one that was the shortest, the 6 yards out. And after that, they've done it from some long distance ones, especially the last 2. And Sloan will kick it off. They've added 10 seconds back on the clock. 6:53 remaining here until halftime. They lead at 28-0. We'll see how these young Bartlett Hawks respond now. Here's Sloan with the kick. And it's Rich who takes Dustin Rich. Takes the kickoff. He has some running room. Here's Dustin Rich at the 40. He's at the 47-yard line. Nice return by Dustin Rich for the Bartlett Hawks. He's been a busy player so far.
Yeah, they needed some positives from their special teams, and the blocking up front and the running of Dustin Rich gives them just that. And again, you got to remember, Rich only a sophomore. Good look at him right there, 5'8", 151 pounds. He's got some growing to go, so only a sophomore. Cater a junior, so the Sabres, or the Hawks rather, have a couple of good running backs for the future, if not the present.
And here's DiMaria rolling out, and he completes the pass to Cater at the 50-yard line. Eludes one tackler, finally driven out of bounds, but not before he gets back into Streamwood territory for good yardage on first down. So nice play, a little play action on first down, and they complete the pass to the back, and that was Al Cater.
Nice job by DiMaria of completing his fakes, and then Cater, after the fake, kind of rolls out in the flat, and you'll watch him here as he breaks a tackle and picks up some extra yards. Nice job by the sophomore Al Cater. Mentioned he was a junior. He's only a sophomore, too, so both running backs for Bartlett, I stand corrected, sophomores.
So pickup of 8 on that first down completion. DiMaria again over the middle, and it is incomplete and almost intercepted there by Todd Marin.
Hey, cross this up a little bit, change numbers. You see Todd Marin shaking his hands. He knows there's not that many times you get a great chance for an interception, but along with Eric Anderson, Todd Marin has been a rock of Gibraltar in the middle of that Streamwood defense during their 5-game winning streak. See if we get a look on the replay. DiMaria again off play action, fakes one way, fakes another way. Basically the same play, run to the left side. Sam Aiello closing in on him, but almost picked off by the middle linebacker, Todd Marin.
Well, facing a 3rd and 2 and a 28-0 deficit, Bartlett Hawks will take a timeout on the field. And while they do that, we want to pass along some information for you. High school football coverage continues here on TCI Channel 3. 1 week from today, we'll bring you first-round coverage of the IHSA playoffs with the site and teams yet to be determined. Among the possibilities are Maine South at 7-1, St. Viator at 6-2, and Glumberg South, Maine West, Wheeling, and Hershey entering Week 9 at 5-3. You'll see at least one of those teams in playoff action next week, right here only on TCI Channel 3. Watch your neighborhood play at TCI. Also, kind of thrown in the mix is Evanston. So we shall see.
Seen some tremendous high school football over the last 9 games. Hard to believe it's the last regular season game. The season has really flown by. But this, Perry, our first look at the Upstate 8 Conference. Always a pleasure to come out here. Elgin's Field, just a beautiful complex to do the game from. And Upstate 8 football, as good as it gets in the state of Illinois. Last year, 5 teams in the conference qualified for the state playoffs.
And we enjoy the heated press box up here as well. And here's some running room for Rich. Rich could go all the way. And he scores the first touchdown for Bartlett against Streamwood here tonight. This one from 46 yards out. No flags on the field. So Dustin Rich takes it in along the right sideline for the touchdown.
And getting these salutes, getting the congratulations from his teammates. He started all the positives with a good run back on the special teams. And the Bartlett fans finally getting something to cheer about. And Dustin Rich able to finish it with an explosive run off the right side. Great blocking at the point of contact. And then watch the shake and bake move right there by Dustin Rich. And then he shows his great speed. Nice job by the young sophomore. A rare missed tackle by Eric Anderson, number 55.
So on 3rd and 2, whatever they said during that timeout certainly worked. Worked to perfection. A touchdown run of 46 yards. The kick is up, and it is good. So the Hawks strike on the scoreboard now, and with 6:21 remaining till halftime, the score is now Streamwood 28, the Bartlett Hawks 7 here on TCI.
I would imagine Streamwood's defensive coordinator, Dan Morrison, gathering the troops right now, probably with that 28-0 lead. Maybe things coming a little bit too easy early. The defense let up a little bit, and I think Dustin Rich just gave him a wake-up call, a big boost for the Bartlett Hawks, 28-7.
Well, here's a program reminder. Find out what's happening around town with TCI's Community News program, hosted by Sam Barr, one of TCI's very own. Each month, our cameras hit the streets, bringing you events, highlights, neighborhood activities, so forth. This month, we'll enjoy some blockbuster movies with our friends at Disney. Throw out the first pitch at Wrigley Field and join Village President Billy Roth for Streamwood's 5th annual summer celebration. So tune into Community News, airing Sundays and Fridays at 1 p.m., Wednesdays at 7 p.m. up, and sometimes at a shoestring tackle by DiMaria, and it was Rob Golombek who returned the football. But sometimes, as we've seen, the little muff on a kickoff can kind of throw the coverage team out of sync. And here's Gallenbeck.
Looked like he was right under it, just mishandled it a little bit. Able to make a good gain after this. Special teams, obviously, a vital part of the game. Watch the tackle coming up here. Like you said, Perry, a little shoestring tackle. Bringing him down, but now we'll get a look. 4 possessions, 4 touchdowns. Bartlett defense trying to put an end to that streak.
Broncos there right away. Nothing fancy here, wide open. And here is Jackson. Jackson, who already scored 1 touchdown on the ground and is finally brought down from behind. And he could be injured. And
that's not what Streamwood wants to see. Michael Jackson. Schluter from behind. Brian Schluter, number 71. Great hustle to save the touchdown. Another beautifully executed play. Scott Brown has been so effective looking off his main target and throwing the opposite way. Some sloppy tackling there. And again, Michael Jackson in the open field, as dangerous a runner as you're going to see. And now watch 71 coming into your screen. Great hustle by Brian Schluter. And we'll see if we can pick up the injury. There's the tackle.
And he was holding his knee, which is never a good sign. Take a look at it again, see if we can see.
Great coverage here by our TCI camera crews. We get the up close. Nice cutback move right there.
Michael Jackson.
I think part of it was he was not expecting to get hit. I think he had eased up a little bit, but that's not a good sign for the Streamwood fans and players as Michael Jackson, their star running back, only a sophomore, being helped off the field.
Well, he's hopping on 1 foot, which is not a good sign either. And I'm sure Jason Bell will be on top of this and try to find out the situation.
I want to remind everybody at the end of the game, as per always, there's a look at Brian Schluter, who's smiling a little bit there on that tackle. But we will have our TCI player of the game, and already, Perry, offensively, a ton of candidates early in this ballgame.
So they go straight ahead on first down. We'll set up a second down situation. And there we saw Anwar Jones carrying the football for the first time here tonight.
Interesting story on Anwar Jones. He's only a junior, started his career at Elgin Larkin, and was a star for their sophomore team as a freshman. Transferred to Streamwood. His mom passed away his sophomore year and decided not to come out for football his sophomore year. Didn't really play this summer. Anwar Jones decided at the start of his junior year, yeah, coach, I want to play some football. Had to sit out the first 2 games of the season, and since then he's been really coming on and adding yet another explosive force to the Streamwood offense.
Well, there we have another player down for Streamwood. The situation is this. There's 5:30 remaining till halftime. Your score is 28-7. Streamwood leading Bartlett. The game being played at Memorial Field in Elgin, normally the home of the Elgin Maroons and the Elgin Larkin Royals. But for repair reasons at Millennium Field, we were there last year for the dedication. Beautiful facility. I'm sure that everything scored away there, but for field repair reasons, they are playing the games here tonight anyway. And there you see
excitement last year when they held the name of the stadium, right? There was,
right.
None of the students, none of the faculty, only a couple of people knew. It was covered by the TV news stations and everything, and they unveiled it, and we were there, Millennium Field.
Well, it's good for another 1,000 years or so. So a lot of exciting football coverage to be shown there on TCI, and Stephen Baldwin will probably be there. You're 29-15 or something. And we don't know which player is down. We cannot tell from our angle here. But one was surmised. Oh, there he is getting up, and it's Oliva, Matt Oliva.
You see the concerned looks from the coaches and players on the Streamwood sidelines, but fortunately Oliva looks like he's going to be okay. We'll see if we can get a report a little bit later from Jason on Michael Jackson on how he's doing. We saw Jeff Bonsall, number 33, going down earlier for Bartlett. So some injuries here in the first half. Well, look at the size of that offensive line. 77 Aiello, number 60 Matt Ulrich, Rob Feltz, the center, doing a great job. Steve Brown, the left guard.
So they'll go to the air. It's a little shuttle pass to Jones. Jones going toward the first down marker, and he's stopped on a great open field tackle by DeMaria.
Well, how about the play call, though, as you see Anwar Jones a little shaken up by that vicious tackle by DeMaria. Great tackle, but watch the execution, the play call here. Greatly executed by Scott Brown. Nice little subtle shovel pass to Anwar Jones. Really impressed with the offensive execution. The offensive coordinator again for Streamwood, Bill Pastoria, doing a great job for John Passion's crew. He was their offensive coordinator his first couple of years and then had to leave because of school teaching cutbacks. He's come back the last 2 years and run the offense for the Sabres.
Here's Joan on the ground, and only a shoestring tackle saved the touchdown. He picks up a first down inside the 10, so it will be actually they mark it right at the 10, so it'll be basically first and goal.
See again the offensive line for Streamwood giving him a great hole, and Jones just tripped up without that there. He's probably in the end zone for a touchdown, and Streamwood certainly knocking on the door. Ball at about the 9.5-yard line for touchdown number 5, but we'll see. The Bartlett defense not going to make it easy.
Well, Todd Marin is the up back, and they go to the air once again. Brown runs out of room that time, and he is wrapped up right at the line of scrimmage.
Looked like it was 88 Ladero Hopkins who was the first one to get in there, but check that. Dane Suffern, number 89. Who else? The star of that front line, Suffern, really having a good game defensively. Make that correction. Watch here as Brown looking. Credit the defensive backs for Bartlett. Nice coverage. Brown has no one to throw to, and Dane Suffern from his left defensive end spot bringing him down.
Well, now let's go down to Jason Bell.
Perry, John, a quick injury report. Michael Jackson re-injured a left knee. That's been giving him problems all the year. His mom came out onto the field. He wants to go back in. The coaches might keep him out just as a precautionary method. And Matt Oliva, number 44, you just saw shaken up on the previous play. He should be okay and check back into the game. And I don't know if that Bartlett touchdown was good or bad. Coach Padgett was going to bring the second-team offense in had Bartlett not scored. But since they did, he brought the first team back in, which might result in another Streamwood touchdown. Back to you guys.
All right, thank you, Jason. There you see Mr. Jackson sitting on the sideline and getting some words of encouragement and explaining what happened out there.
Interesting angle from Jason. Good news, bad news. Good news is we scored a touchdown. Bad news is you're going to face our number 1 defense again.
And here they come offensively on second down and 9.
Sure, Bartlett is going to make sure that Brian Sloan, number 80, already 2 touchdown passes. You see him lined up as the tight end on the left side that makes sure he is covered.
Here's Brown rolling to his right. Now cuts it back, and he is hammered there as once again answering the call was the Bartlett High School Hawk defense.
And once again, Dane Suffern, the guy who flushed him out. Number 61, Brad Billeter, is the one who finishes him off. Good pass rush. That's what you have to do against Brown off the play action. Again, nice coverage downfield. He's not able to pick up a secondary receiver. And you see Suffern and then Billeter finally bring him down, and then the rest of the teammates come in. So Bartlett's defense doing a nice job of stiffening here in the red zone against Streamwood.
So now third and goal, and they are at the 11-yard line. So going backwards, but this is where they could be dangerous. And dropping the ball once again is Jones, Anwar Jones. They had the little screen set up to the right, and now sets up a 4th down situation and another injured player down for Streamwood.
You can see Anwar not very happy with himself. That has been Streamwood's bread and butter play today. Scott Brown dropping back with the rush coming in and the screen play. That time beautifully set up. Anwar Jones, and again, he's just getting his football hands back. He missed the first 2 games this year, didn't play last year, so still a little bit of rusty. Number 12 dropping his.
Robbie Feltz is the player down with the injury. And it's been a drive where the trainers and the medical staff for Streamwood have been very busy shuttling back and forth between the sidelines.
Coach John Padgett with just a ton of compliments for number 64, Rob Feltz. We saw Feltz play last year. He was on the defensive side of the ball. Feltz, number 64, able to step in this year and play center, allowed Todd Marin to move to linebacker, and Feltz has done a great job at the center position.
Well, there you see some of the backups warming up and staying warm. And here's another program reminder. Let Village President Greg Kletecki show you wheeling like you've never seen it before. He hosts his brand new program introducing you to the people of his community. Each episode features restaurants, schools, residents, and neighborhood events sure to make you stand up and take notice. Windows on Wheeling airs Sundays at 1:30 p.m., Mondays at 2 and 7:30 p.m., and Thursdays at 2 p.m. right here on TCI Channel 3. But here we have on 4th and 11, Quarterback Brown, who's already struck 3 times through the air here in the first half, will set him down on 4th and goal at the 11. Looking in the end zone and overthrowing Graziano. So but a flag is on the field. We will see what the call is.
Don't forget they were putting in a new center there. It didn't look like anybody jumped, but that's always a tough spot to come into. Nick Baird, number 62 right now, cold off the bench, having to step in and center. It looked like a clean snap. We'll see if that was part of the confusion or if the penalty was elsewhere. Joe Pomponi, Bob Brown, and head referee Don Brandt making the call.
No, we're still not quite sure. The officials are discussing the situation. We have seen a couple Bartlett players applaud.
Jeff Bonsall trying to help the officials.
Illegal substitution on the black team. The pass was incomplete. It's first down for the white team.
Okay, well, there you have it. That's the illegal substitution situation.
Not sure what that's all about. Either is Scott Brown, either of the Streamwood coaches. I don't know if that has to do with Nick Baird or whoever. Joe Pomponi, the official, explaining it to the coaches. But either way, Perry, a big defensive stop for Bartlett. They had the touchdown the drive before. Now the defense is able to stop. So it hasn't been a great first half, but suddenly a little momentum for the guys in green.
Well, if they have 2 minutes and 31 seconds of clock to work with here in the first half. Won't be easy. They have the ball on their own 11-yard line.
See how much Dick Stevens is willing to put the ball up in the air. Let Vince DiMaria, last time he threw the ball, of course, picked off by Matt Ryan, but we'll see if they go to the air here with 2:31.
Well, DiMaria keeps the football, and he is hammered for a loss right at the 5-yard line.
Yeah, Matt Ryan, number 51, and even more so, number 34, Danny Gerhardt, coming up with a big stop from his defensive end standpoint. And Streamwood has been so explosive offensively, you forget some of the fine defensive plays here, but they really, outside of the one run by Dustin Rich, have played very well defensively.
And now there's 2 minutes, and you have to think maybe if Streamwood makes a stop here, they calling timeout.
Good point.
Having Bartlett backed up this far in the field, but here's Rich. He has some running room. He scored last time out, not this time, but he does go up to the 14-yard line. And they'll set up a third, and they're going to call it about 7.
I think you saw Eric Anderson looking at the sideline. Here's a good look at Dustin Rich. Nice inside move. Showed some power to break the tackle there. Nice cutback ability. Tell you what, he picked up only 6-7 yards, but that's a heck of a run by Dustin Rich.
Now a minute 17 remaining till halftime. And Bartlett will take their time. They will actually want to use some clock this time. Here's Rich again, and he is bouncing around the line of scrimmage, way short of the first down. And now Streamwood will call a timeout at the even 1 minute mark. So set up a 4th and long from the Hawk 15-yard line.
Boy, just a solid job that time by the Streamwood front four, the defensive line. No push from Bartlett's offensive line. Streamwood able to bottle Rich up before he gets a start. You'll get a good look here.
Among those in on the stop, once again, is Gerhardt, Danny Gerhardt. Number 34 was there.
Interesting story with him. He started out the season as a defensive back, played defensive back for him last year, and made the rare move from defensive back to defensive end. And Coach John Padgett said, and we've seen here, he's been one of their big play defensive guys. Only a junior, Danny Gerhardt.
DiMaria will punt it away. And he has that left-footed spiral going for him, and it's taken there and sliding down was Brian Dulesky. So, nevertheless, they're in good field position. The ball at the 37-yard line, 1st and 10, and they have 53 seconds to work with, and a quarterback in Brown that has shown he can certainly move the team through the air.
See the good punt by Vince DiMaria, and here's number 21, Dulesky with the run back, and you're going to see Clint Poitier, number 51, making a nice special teams tackle right there. Got some assistance from his
Well, there we go. 1st and 10, John. And Brown trying to find his footing. And once again, coming in to make the stuff was Dane Suffren, who's having a big-time first half here for Bartlett.
I'm going to blame you for this one, but you could say the offense is suffering when Big Dane is rushing. But number 89 is really playing a good first half. He has been impressive from his defensive end spot.
Streamwood with 2 timeouts left on the clock, and that will at least stop the clock with the incomplete pass, but we'll set up a 3rd and long.
Got to remember now, every time Scott Brown drops back to pass, that pressure not to be intercepted, can he complete his senior season? He had a whole good portion of his junior season without any interceptions, but that record streak now well into the 260s. Every time he drops back to pass, he is setting a state record. And Dustin Rich for Bartlett, a couple of his other buddies, talking a little bit about how they'd like to be the guy to make that interception and kind of get your name in the record book one way or another.
The person who stopped the streak, we shall see. They have 25 seconds remaining now. And straight drop back, and he's going long again for Jones. Jones is there. Touchdown. Edward Jones from 39 yards out. The 4th touchdown pass of the night for Brown. No flags. Touchdown, Streamwood.
Man, and what a pass by Scott Brown. Anwar Jones, couple of misses in the first half, but not that time. You see Anwar shaking his head, and the Streamwood fans, a lot to cheer about it. And it all starts, Perry, with the blocking by the offensive line. Watch the wall set up. Great protection. Scott Brown with a 5-step drop. Has plenty of time. Picks out his primary receiver, and you talk about a gorgeous pass. You're looking at one right there. Again, the coverage not bad. A great catch by Anwar Jones for touchdown number 5.
And good concentration, and the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So with 17 seconds remaining here till halftime, the score is now Streamwood 35, Bartlett 7 here on your TCI of Illinois Game of the Week. Well, Scott Brown showing what he can do through the air, and with that good protection and a nice sense of concentration and focus by Jones that time to hold on to the football. And here's the number of push-ups.
They're going to be awfully. The trainer's going to have to carry the cheerleaders off if they keep doing push-ups after every score. But I would imagine the Streamwood coach is kind of pleased right now that Anwar Jones decided to come out for football this year, along with Michael Jackson, Brian Sloan, and all the offensive weapons that Streamwood has had. Anwar Jones has really come on the last couple games to give him an extra weapon. I'll tell you.
Jones with 2 touchdowns through the air and 2 for Sloan, and the Michael Jackson touchdown run. Accounting for the scoring for Streamwood. For Bartlett, a nice long run by Dustin Rich. A little pooch kick at the 25-yard line. They have to pick it up. Here's Canner, and he has taken down textbook tackle at the 30-yard line, and a flag is thrown.
Yeah, how about the tackle by Matt Jensen, number 75, like you said, right out of football tackling 001. Beautiful job. You see number 17 getting some congrats, too. I'm not so sure that was a squib kick. I think Brian Sloan was just flat out tired from playing offense. He had nothing behind that kick, but watch the tackle coming up. That's the way you do it.
That's like just when they have all those tackling dummies in practice, and it could be one of the, well, it marks off the penalty against Streamwood, and it could be the unsportsmanlike or kind of the excessive celebration or after that tackle.
Yeah, that's one of those penalties.
Conduct and 36 on the black team, taunting the ball carrier. First down.
Well, we saw a taunting call last week, I believe.
So it wasn't so much on Jensen and his celebration. It was more verbal talking, verbal taunting, and that's something that has been a point of contention with the officials this year.
Di Maria and the quarterback draw, nothing there, as the first half is going to come to an end on the Bartlett side of the 50-yard line. And after 2 quarters of play here at Memorial Field in Elgin, your score is Streamwood 35 to Bartlett Hawks 7 on your TCI of Illinois High School Game of the Week. Field in Elgin, Illinois, as Bartlett will kick it off to start the second half. to the Streamwood Sabres, who already lead it by a bunch. And here is Jones with the return of kickoff all the way up to the 37-yard line. Anwar Jones, who has scored a couple touchdowns in the first half.
Well, I'll tell you, Jeff Bonsall, number 33, met him head on. Probably the best best overall tackler on the Bartlett team, and Jones ran right through the tackle. Bonsall looked up and like, wow, how did he get by me? Nice job by Anwar Jones, number 12. And you heard John Padgett, the coach, say that Streamwood's going to mix it up a little bit, play some different players. Scott Brown is in at quarterback to start the third quarter, so we'll see. And sure, Bartlett talked Coach Deke Stevens at halftime, make some adjustments, and they'll come fired up here, will the Hawks, in the second half.
And they go to the air on first down to start the second half and going for it all. And it is almost intercepted by Rich. That was intended for Plummer, and it was Rich, though, who almost broke the streak.
And Dustin Rich has been talking, kiddingly so. He's going to be the guy to pick one off of Scott Brown, and he had his chance right there. Dustin hands to the helmet. How could I miss that one? Scott Brown rarely making a bad decision. This was one as he throws into traffic. You're going to watch not only Rich, but a couple other defenders in the territory. A nice job by the Streamwood receiver, Ed Bloomer, there just to knock it away.
So 2nd and 10, and they keep it on the ground. And here's Jackson, who is back from injury, and he's taken down by the jersey. And it was Brian Navarro with the stop for the Hawks.
Nice job by Navarro, number 31. A little bit surprised to see Michael Jackson, number 35, back in the ballgame. So Michael must have talked to the coaches and convinced them into playing, but you can see he still is bothered by that ankle injury, and that may have been the last we will see of Michael Jackson. Look at those stats. Very close to 20 yards per carry. Had the one long touchdown run, and again, we were going to remind everybody, the young man you're seeing running here only a sophomore, so a lot of career still left for Michael Jackson.
Well, Navarro will get a hold of him by the jersey, and just the way he went down, see he almost did the splits there, or he had the sore ankle.
Left leg kind of collapsed underneath him.
So 3rd and short, and they pick up the first down close to midfield.
Looked like Banulis getting his first carry of the ball game, number 43.
Steve is a junior, 5'11", 185, number 43.
I'll tell you, running behind that offensive line, that's a running back's dream as we look at the first half statistics. And time of possession is even, Perry, but after that, it's all Streamwood in the stats as they scored early and often. Look at the total yards. First half alone, 368 yards. Very impressive for the black jersey.
John Cohen using his telestrator as to circle the yardage, and pass incomplete. Jennifer Banuelos.
I'll tell you, Scott Brown, 10 of 16 passing in the first half, but he should have been even better than that. He has been right on with most of his passes. That was the 3rd drop pass of this evening. That time, Banuelos, number 43. Anwar Jones missed a couple early, so.
I'll take another peek at it. Now we'll set up a 2nd and 10. The ball just at midfield. And should have had it. Should have Steve, just a junior. So we have 2nd and 10. And here's Brown. We'll set him down. They're putting the football in the air here in the second half. Not this time. Here's Anwar Jones to the left side. He has some running room. Anwar Jones being chased and finally brought down inside the 10 by Rich, who saves the touchdown.
Boy, and early on, it didn't look like that running play was going to go anywhere at all. Matt Ulrich, number 60, ahead of Anwar Jones. He doesn't really have to throw a great block. Watch the pitch out here, and Jones just take it to the outside. Somebody in the Bartlett defense mixing up their coverage. No containment. There you see Ulrich, but he doesn't have to block that much. And Rich somehow able to scamper back and make the touchdown-saving tackle. But Anwar Jones with another big pickup.
Another one of those just by the ankles, but got him down at the 9-yard line. 1st and 9, or goal at the 9. And Brown looking to the air, scrambling to his right. And he throws it away. There is a flag down on the field.
Looked like Dane suffering on the pass rush, forcing that. Drew Tegmeyer, number 63. Both of them getting a good pass rush on Scott Brown, and he intelligently threw that ball away, realizing he's still got 3 more downs to go. There you see the stats of the all-area quarterback, Scott Brown. Not bad. 10 for 19, 226, and most importantly, getting the ball in the end zone. 4 touchdowns passing. First half alone for Scott Brown.
Now they're going to march a holding call after all that scrambling around by Brown. And that will back him up. First and goal. And they'll have it with some distance to go here on first down at the 23-yard line.
That big offensive line coming to the forefront for the Streamwood Sabres. This will be an interesting play call for Streamwood. Their offensive coach, Bill Pastore. Let's see what they got.
Graziano with a deep tailback. They fake to him.
Screen.
And they screen back to the right side. Here's Graziano with some running room, looking for some blocking help. Misses crosses direction now. He's at the 10, inside the 5-yard line. A nice play by Graziano out of that tailback position.
Well, you remember it was Mike Graziano. First offensive play for Streamwood. They almost went the length of the field. Watch him here on a similar type play. Brown rolls opposite. A little bit of a screen action. Lets the defense come in, and then Graziano floats off to the right side. Makes the catch, but watch the run after catch. Mike Graziano showing some great moves here.
And then he changes direction there. Gets blocked there by Jones. Extra yardage in tow. And they're back in business down to the 7. A gain of 16. Here's Brown for his potentially his 5th touchdown pass of the night. That was intended for Gollenbeck. Goes incomplete. Set up a 3rd down. Take a big look at number 60.
Yeah, what a job he has done for us. Streamwood Perry, a 3-year varsity starter, team captain, great team leader. He's had a tremendous career for the Matt Ulrich. I'm sorry, I thought we were talking about Brown. We got Ulrich, number 60, the junior, who's just a dominant offensive lineman. We mentioned how he's kind of been in the limelight along with Sam Aiella, but Matt Ulrich next year really is going to be one of the top offensive linemen in the area, number 60. Plays that right guard spot, right tackle spot, also plays defense.
3rd and goal from the 7. Another passing down, and here's Brown with a man open in the end zone, and incomplete. He ran out of end zone, and that will set up the 4th down situation. Gollenbeck was there, disconnected his feet in bounds, so it's 4th and goal from the 7.
You can see Rob really wanted the touchdown there, did everything he could. He just ran out of real estate. Nice play action fake. They've used the faking action very well this evening, and Brown off his back foot. You can see why he doesn't get intercepted much. Throws that safety pass, and Gollenbeck just missing the touchdown. They've done a nice job of spreading it out, as Scott Brown, of throwing the ball to different receivers, keeping the defense off balance.
Sloan with a couple of touchdown grabs. Jones with a couple, and Graziano with some significant catches and runs after the reception. So 4th down, here we go at the 7-yard line. 3rd quarter action. And that time it is a touchdown to Graziano. So Mike Graziano gets his share of the pie here in the end zone. 5th touchdown pass thrown here tonight by Scott Brown.
Yeah, I'll tell you, if this is Scott Brown, of course, Streamwood hopes not. If it's his final home game for the Streamwood Sabres in his senior season, he's finishing on quite a note. His 5th touchdown pass, watch this one, a beauty. Graziano with the touchdown catch. Brown has just been super accurate tonight. 5th touchdown pass. We're early in the 3rd quarter.
And the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So with 8:51 remaining here in the 3rd quarter, the score is now the Streamwood Sabres 42, the Hawks of Bartlett 7 on your TCI of Illinois game of the week.
Interesting decision. 4th down. 35-7 lead, and they go for the touchdown instead of kicking a field goal. A possibly controversial move, and of course they have to remember Bartlett, this is only year 1. There's going to be a rivalry for many years. There's a look at number 66, Steve Brown, who we started to talk about earlier. I apologize. Steve, the captain of the team, a 3-year starter, And again, this could be Streamwood's final game. And Steve Brown, what a tremendous career, what great leadership he has provided here for the Streamwood program, playing in that offensive line. And again, just a super job in the 3 years he's been on this varsity team. You kind of get lost when you got guys like Ulrich and Aiello, but Rob Felt and that guy right there, Steve Brown, anchors of one of the best offensive lines in the area.
So it'll be Sloan kicking off yet again here tonight. And this ball is picked up by Cantor. Cantor has it at the 30, some running room. He's at the 40. Here's Cantor, and he's taken down at the 47-yard line. A nice tackle there by Sloan, but it is Cantor with a good return for the Hawks of Bartlett.
Yeah, they got a couple of good running backs. I'm sure they're going to work in the offseason, get nothing but better, but you have to keep remembering Al Cater, and Dustin Rich, both sophomores at the running back spots for Bartlett.
Well, Cater is a little bit banged up. So correction, of course, it's Cater who's had that nice return. And here he is again, number 22, Al Cater, a 6 foot, 164-pound sophomore.
He'll gain some weight in the offseason. He's a little shaky coming up. Brian Deluski has played a solid game from his cornerback spot, number 21, coming up and making the hit that time, but Cater a little bit injured.
Now, now let's go to Jason Bell.
Well, guys, another injury update on Michael Jackson, who got injured again. They brought him in. They said they weren't going to bring him in, but this is probably the last game of the year, so they brought him in. He got hurt again, re-aggravated that same knee, and we're going to have a family tree history of the Pageant family, which is a very serious football family, and then we're going to interview his wife between quarters. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Jason. Look forward to that. Here is Rich with a nice carry to pick up the first down, and here's Bartlett moving the football on the ground, John.
You got some tremendously conditioned players here. One of them, Dustin Rich, who's been in on just about every one of the plays, and you can see still running hard, great blocking up front. Finally brought down by number 28, Todd Moore, in the inside linebacker, but a nice pickup by Dustin Rich, who's really catching fire a little bit here in this game.
DiMaria, the junior quarterback, gives it to Cater as the second man through and down to the 35-yard line. So pick up a 4 on the play. It's up a 2nd and 6 situation for the Hawks.
Well, I love the call there. That was kind of something we haven't seen for a while. The fake pitch, kind of slam-bassed up the middle. Well executed by Vincent DiMaria and Dustin Rich. Nice blocking up front. We are getting reports that Mike Graziano, number 13, warming up on the sideline. So possibly Scott Brown has thrown his final ball for the day, maybe for his career here at Streamwood.
They sent a man in motion right, and here's the pitch to Rich, and nothing there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage, lucky to get back at that point. At the 35-yard line, it'll be third down.
Boy, and that was Danny Gerhardt coming in with a solid tackle, crunching tackle, shoulder pad on shoulder pad. Gerhardt, again, a defensive back turned defensive end. You don't hear that too often, but number 34, heck of a game, and that was one very good tackle.
Of course, this is obviously 4-down territory here. 3rd and 5 at the 35. DiMaria brings them up to the line of scrimmage. And Rich turns around, and they don't like what they see. They call a timeout with 6:10 remaining in the third quarter. 3rd and 5 at the 35-yard line. The Bartlett Hawks will take a timeout. While they do that, we want to remind you that high school football coverage continues here on TCI Channel 3. 1 week from today, we'll bring you first-round coverage of the IHSA playoffs with the site and teams yet to be determined. Among the possibilities are Maine South at 7-1, St. Viator at 6-2, and Lubbock South, Maine West, Wheeling, and Hershey entering week number 9 at 5-3. We'll throw Evanston in the mix as well. You'll see at least one of those teams in playoff action next week, right here only on TCI Channel 3. Watch your neighborhood play on TCI. There's all sorts of possibilities. They'll sort it out, and the computer will have it on the internet, all that stuff.
Yeah, and hopefully hopefully we can add these guys that you're looking at right here in the black jerseys to the mix, too. They certainly deserve to go, and you got to believe that they are as strong, if not stronger, than a lot of teams that will make it. Again, the 3 losses in the beginning of the season hurt them, but if they can win this ball game 6 in a row, we'll talk a little bit about the playoff system, the point system, but hopefully we'll be mentioning Streamwood in that IHSA state playoff talk also.
Well, here they go on 3rd and 5, and DeMaria with the quick drop pass. It's a little shy of the first down marker. The ball was taken in there, and the pass completed, and they're just maybe a yard shy.
Nice job by, I think it was Christopher Belize, number 6, with his first catch of the ball game. Nice safety catch. Had to go down to the ground and showed good hands, but here comes a big 4th down play for Bartlett. Clock running, and we'll see what Vince DeMaria can concoct here on the offensive side.
4th and 1, the ball at the 31-yard line.
One thing they don't have is a big power fullback in this situation, so we'll see who they go to.
Now they sneak it right up the middle for the first down. So DeMaria, 5'11", used every inch of that to power forward for the first down.
And Jeffrey Broyson, number 65, number 53 in there, Flouter, number 51. Some good blocking up front. Watch the push from the Bartlett offensive line. Nice job there against a bigger Streamwood front, but they're able to get enough push to give their quarterback, DeMaria, the first down. Nice job by the guys up front.
You're right, John. You look at some of the backs they have in Rich and in Cater, and Dante Frazier could have been the man. Of course, he is injured, as we talked about. He is 6'2". So they have to go with kind of the smaller backs and lose one tackler. And now here's DeMaria will keep the football, and he powers his way forward to the 21-yard line. So nice aggressive play as he went right into Deluski, and Garcia were there. But Vince DeMaria on first down kept the football, and he picked up 8 yards.
And that's where he's most dangerous at quarterback. He's a good drop-back passer, but you see the fake there got Marin up and at him. Number 34 missed it, and then DeMaria uses his athletic ability to get around the outside. You'll see Deluski coming up, number 21, in a minute. Nice, solid collision right there, but DeMaria picks up some nice yards, good decision, good scrambling ability by the junior quarterback.
So he picks up 8 on first down. He sets him out down on second. Now with a fake pitch, he moves it up back inside, close to that first down marker. And he might be banged up, Vince DeMaria.
Todd Marin, number 28, making the tackle. Nice deception there. Caught everybody off balance, including our camera crew, and DeMaria up slowly. So we'll see who Bartlett has warming up as a backup quarterback. We saw a very good sophomore quarterback for the Bartlett Hawks, Kurt Lewandowski, who probably should challenge for the QB spot next year. He's going to be a good one. You see DeMaria shaking his head as he comes off the field, but watch on the replay. Maybe a mixed-up play. We're not sure. Nice fake.
Well, let's see. It will be now they're going to measure it. Initially they said no, it would be a third down, but now they're going to take a peek at it. And Felicia is the backup quarterback, number 6. And he indeed gets the first down.
Bartlett sophomores, by the way, did defeat the Streamwood sophomores. So we talk about the Hawks having only 28 players on varsity. Everybody coming back, plus that sophomore squad. Certainly next year they're going to be at normal numbers for a varsity squad, and that has got to help because as the season has worn down, it's been tough on Dick Stevens and his crew here with shorthanded with the number of players.
Felicia will set him down at quarterback. 1st and 10 at the 20-yard line. And he gives to Rich. Rich powers forward for 4 yards on first down.
Finally brought down by Steve Brown. Nice tackle, playing some defense, but solid pickup by the Dustin Rich, the ever-ready bunny. Just keeps on moving, Dustin Rich. Doesn't look like he's getting tired.
And they move to the line now on 2nd and 6. The ball at the 15-yard line. A nice drive here.
4 receivers split out in this formation.
And they go over the middle. The pass is complete over the middle to Seffern. So we called his name several times defensively, that time on offense. He is able to haul in the short pass from his tight end position.
Boy, watch the quarterback here under pressure. Watch Ayala, Brown, Ulrich coming to the screen, hands up, and still able to make the pass. Nice catch by Suffer, and you got to credit Christopher Belija for a great job hanging in the pocket on that three-step drop.
And now they've made the change back to DiMaria at the quarterback position, so he's had out a couple plays, and he goes there once again. A couple of receivers there. They pick up the first down, first and goal to the 5-yard line. So impressive drive being put together here by the Hawks of Bartlett.
Remember the first drive of the ball game, they drove down very well, then had the big turnover. Watch the replay here again. Little drop back pass, not even a three-step drop, but a two-step drop as Bartlett using the quick passing attack. Finally brought down by Eric Anderson, number 55, but like you said, very well executed drive. Now let's see if this young ball club can finish it. Put the ball in the end zone.
Some of the first-team defensive substitutions back in the lineup for Streamwood now that Bartlett has driven down to the 5. Flag is down.
This could be a big penalty coming up as Don Brandt is going to make the call. It was 1st and 6. This is going to back him up, I believe.
Legal procedure on the end.
That's going to make it 1st 11. Costly penalty for a young ball club.
So 1st and goal, just ball resting just outside the 10. DiMaria will look, and pass was intended for Al Cater, and it's thrown a little behind him. He was trying to sneak him out of the backfield, and he had some space there, but the ball just wasn't there.
Yeah, you're exactly right. Watch on the replay here. Kind of a mix-up between the two of them, but they're both shaking their heads because if this pass is on target, and if Cater's able to pick it up, he walks in the end zone, Perry Williams. There was no one near them, so they missed an opportunity for 6 points on that connection.
Well, that'll make it a 2nd and goal from the 11. And then once again, it's powering forward for good yardage. So kind of a scrum there. And looked like it was the quarterback, DiMaria, who kept the football.
Yeah, 5'11", 170 pounds, not that big, but DiMaria able to navigate his way through the defense on that one, and that was a great run. Almost put the ball in the end zone. Nice job by Vince, who appears to have shaken off that injury and is more than healthy at this point.
Now it is 3rd and goal.
To hang on to the ball here, avoid the big turnover. There's certainly going to be no field goal kick, so they got 2 shots at it from about 3 yards away.
We have 1 minute remaining here, 3rd quarter. And certainly Bartlett would like to punch it in here quickly before we head to the 4th. And there you see the give straight ahead. Didn't make it, did not get in. It'll set up a 4th down situation.
Yeah, he didn't get in solely on the efforts of number 55, Eric Anderson. A little bit quiet in the first half, but he again has been one of their top defensive players. What a stop by Anderson as we get a look at the rather busy stats of Dustin Rich. Had the one big touchdown run, and he's getting close to 100 yards.
Well, the timeout on the field with 33 seconds remaining here in the 3rd quarter. And the timeout taken by Bartlett is a couple of yards are lost on that play.
Well, they badly want to get in the end zone here. Touchdown number 2. You see Dick Stevens and coaches talking to DiMaria and the offensive players for Bartlett. This will be an interesting play call, and I'm sure Streamwood, with their pride defensively, wants to make this stop. So this will be a big 4th down play coming up.
Well, for an informative and up-to-date look at what's happening in your area, join Pioneer Press Managing Editor Robert Lorzell as he discusses important issues with community leaders. Tune in this month as Greg Kletecki, Village President of Wheeling, and Ed Rochford, Mayor of Prospect Heights, update the Milwaukee Airport expansion project. So don't miss Village Voice, presented by TCI, Sundays at 12:30 p.m., Mondays at 1 p.m., and Tuesdays at 1:30 p.m., and it's right here and only on TCI Channel 3. And right here, you have a 4th down situation, 4th and goal. DiMaria sets him down. And big Sam Ayala was there to wrestle him down, was not able to make the pitch out to the trailing back, who was Rich. Ayala met him, threw him down, and the Streamwood defense holds inside the 10, and their offense will take over 1st and 10 going the other way.
That's one of the best offensive linemen, one of the best two-way players in the state you were just looking at, in the Sam Ayala, returning all-area player, another 3-year guy for the Streamwood Sabres. And really, you have to like the call there, the option play at 4th and 3. And DeMaria made the decision not to pitch it out. Not a good decision that time, because Ayala and Danny Gerhardt, number 34, met him. And tough break, because that was a really good drive by Bartlett, but they just were not able to get the ball in the end zone.
So Brown back at quarterback and back throwing the football. And he's going long once again. Good coverage that time on the plate. Cater was step for step with Gollenbeck along the near sideline.
And 42 seconds, or 12 seconds left in the third quarter. And Streamwood 42-7, still throwing long. Scotty Brown looking for his 6th touchdown pass. And John Padgett, got to remember, you're playing Bartlett again next year. You don't want to get him too angry at you. But then again, you got a senior quarterback playing his final game. We're not aware of the Streamwood record books. Possibly 6 touchdowns would be a record. That might be a factor.
This time they keep it with Jones on the ground. Anwar Jones busts it up to the 20-yard line. And that is good enough for a first down.
Andrew Betcher, number 24, making the nice tackle, 2-4.
And on that Jones carry for first down, that will bring the third quarter to an end here at Memorial Field in Elgin. And after 3, your score, Streamwood, the Sabres are leading it big by the score of 42-7 over the Bartlett Hawks in your TCI of Illinois high school game of the week.
There's a world with no such thing as one size fits all, where there's something for everyone on the menu, and the things you want come right to you. Here, life is good, because it's easier for you to get and give the information you want, from anywhere to everywhere. We've done that for you for quite some time, and we're getting better at it every day. Telephone, internet, TV, TCI. Now, there's a better way.
Welcome back for fourth quarter action here at Memorial Field in Elgin. Perry Williams and John Cohen and Jason Bell with you here on TCI, our 9th and final regular season game of 1998 for you. And boy, John, has the regular season flown by quickly.
Yeah.
Like yesterday, watching Brandon O'Reilly and the Hersey Huskies jump out to that big start and that big victory against St. Viator way back at the end of August.
Time flies, my friend, when you're having fun, and we have had some really great high school matchups, some closely contested battles, and yeah, it does seem like only a couple weeks ago we started, but there's still a lot more fun to come, because the IHSA state playoffs, of course, the culmination to a great season, and we're going to have hopefully at least a couple of those ball games.
Well, here we go. We do have the change of quarterback at the fourth quarter, and that's Graziano, number 13, the quarterback, and the running back for good yardage that time was Brandon Garcia.
Graziano, also a senior. Andrew Betcher, number 24, coming up with another big tackle for the Bartlett Hawks. Betcher doing a nice job on the defensive side. There you get a look at Graziano on his first offensive play of the half.
And some big holes being opened up there. Brandon Garcia, good yardage there. And there's a good look at the quarterback we just mentioned, and nothing doing that time, but they're just trying to get some good yardage, and it takes a while for a quarterback to get the feel of the game. And very good look at number 13. And
he's been an offensive star today, not necessarily at quarterback. He is the guy who caught that screen pass, first offensive play of the game, almost turned it into a touchdown, a couple of big plays in the first half. And Dane Suffer, number 89, was the guy who made that last tackle, another solid hit from number 89. how conservative the offense becomes with Graziano at quarterback.
So 3rd and 2, and they try to spread him out, but he is hauled down there. Another Jersey tackle by Brian Navarro. That's a couple times tonight we've seen Navarro do that, but boy, he gets a hand on that jersey and doesn't let go, so that will set down a rare punting situation here tonight for Streamwood.
Brian, another sophomore, as we get a look at it there. Graziano trying to escape. Strong hands and no tearaway jersey, unfortunately, for Graziano, but number 31, Brian Navarro, only a sophomore, a very young Bartlett Hawks team.
And there's the punt, and it gets a pretty decent roll on it. We'll go to the 39-yard line. Back to Bartlett with 9:54 remaining in our ball game. It's 42-7 as the Streamwood Sabres in the first ever meeting between these two teams. Bartlett, its first year, as Jason Bell mentioned way back in the first quarter, first year of varsity competition, and with a record of 2-6 going into tonight's game.
Sitting under the scoreboard is the jug. Maybe we'll see if we can get a camera close-up of it, but the tradition will now be whoever wins the game gets the colored jug, puts it up in their trophy case, and, of course, maintains it for the year. So Streamwood looks like they're going to be taking home the jug for Game 1.
Well, Cater took his eyes off the pass. It was there, but he was going to get popped, and it'll set up a second down situation. Much like that, the famous one in college football, the little brown jug between Minnesota and Michigan that has been, of course, so famous over the years. And Michigan having the bulk of those.
You being a Minnesota man, I'm sure you'll recollect that. But
cover that team a few times. It was a rare occasion where the Golden Gophers beat the Wolverines, but it did happen a couple times in my 13 years up there. Including the one time when they beat Michigan that was ranked number 1 in the country at that time, with Leach as quarterback, but former Deerfield standout Carlson, Mark Carlson, quarterback the Gophers, to a victory over the Wolverines back in '77. But here we have a 3rd down situation for the Bartlett Hawks, and the Hawks are going to get they don't have the depth and the roster numbers that we've seen some of the other teams here because they're building that program. So it's not a situation where they've already used about everybody on the roster. And you'll see DiMaria continue here at quarterback. Now trying to set him down on 3rd and 9. He'll roll out to his right. And Sefrin was there, but just could not hold on. He would have been way shy the first down anyway.
Tell you what, the fake by DiMaria was just outstanding. Faked out the entire ball club. Watch here. He hides the ball on his right hip. Great job. And Brian Deluski, number 21, who's had a super game defensively, has the coverage here. And you'll see Deluski come on the screen and cause that play to be broken up. But nice job by DiMaria working the fake on the rollout.
Yeah, I've enjoyed watching this.
Substitution on the right team. It's declined. It'll be 4th down.
Well, our second illegal substitution penalty of the night. There's the one day that will be a jug that will really have some spirit into it.
Half green, of course, for the Bartlett Hawks, half black for the Streamwood Sabres, and that's going to, I'm sure, be just the beginning today of a super rivalry between these two schools.
And you watch that Bartlett program build, and those kids coming up for the freshman and sophomore ranks. Mentioned that sophomore team winning impressively here tonight. Here's DiMaria with that left-footed punt. Gets it away. And it's taken there, finally brought down. And
Brian Schluter, number 71, making the tackle. There's Deluski, who's really had a nice ball game today. And fourth quarter, 42-7. So we'll see here as Mike Graziano gets his second shot at running the offense. Want to remind everybody we are going to have our TCI Player of the Game post-game. Jason Bell will be down on the field, hopefully, with our Player of the Game.
And Scott Brown, who is probably our primary candidate with 5 touchdown passes, comes back into the game with 8:52 remaining. And the 1st and 10, and there they give to Jones. And he is popped, but not before good yardage. And Betcher was the one making the stick initially, but Jones battling for first down yardage. So they put the troops back in. And on that first down, it'll be 1st and 10 at the 48.
Can't quite figure out why they would make that change unless Graziano injured. But Anwar Jones getting some valuable time at running back. Solid tackle again by Andrew Betcher, number 24. Pad on pad. Nice collision right there. But Anwar Jones, along with Michael Jackson, they could give him a nice 1-2 punch next year.
Well, Graziano is still in the game. And there you see Brown now, Graziano in motion. And Brown is going again. He completes it to Sloan, who has 2 touchdown passes already here tonight. This one good for a first down and a pickup of 16 yards on the play.
Well, one way of looking at it is Scott Brown, if they don't make the playoffs, could finish now with the state record, never having been intercepted during that streak. You watch him here with another bullet of a pass, beautiful, to his favorite target, Brian Sloan. And in one sense, you have to respect the courage and the gamble to go back out there and to challenge himself passing. Almost like Ted Williams when he had that 400 record. Instead of sitting out his final game, he wanted to play, got 3 hits. Scott Brown showing that same kind of courage coming back out on the field. Of course, the Bartlett team might be wondering what the heck is the first-string quarterback doing back out there with 7 minutes left.
Well, especially since we were told that we would see other players, but maybe they'll work everyone in and pick up a couple yards on the play, set up 2nd down and 33. And I think you're right. Maybe they wanted the school record. Not sure what it is. Maybe that's what the reason is. 6 touchdown passes could be.
Well, there's still hope. They have to do some rooting for some other teams. Of course, this is a Thursday night game. They got to be rooting for teams like Deerfield, like Glenbard North, like Elgin, some of those teams to win some games because the state playoffs is based on a point system. We'll talk a little bit more about that as the game winds down.
Well, it's now winding down to a 7-minute mark. And here's Brown keeping the football. We haven't seen him carry the ball much tonight. Hasn't had to, but suffering again, making the stop.
Well, I'll tell you, number 89, what a ball game. Only a junior. They've got some superb young players. And Dane Suffern, he's played a little bit on offense, but he has been a menace in the backfield the entire game. Watch him on the replay here. Good coverage downfield. No one for Brown to throw to, and watch Suffern just track him down on the chase.
So now be 3rd and 7. The ball now at the 30-yard line.
That's just a great individual defensive play, Perry. Guy's tired. His team's down 42-7. He could easily ask to come out of the ball game, but Dane Suffern from his left side chases him down.
Graziano back in at quarterback, and he pitches out to Garcia, and they whistle it. They stop it before it really got underway, and unfortunately for Bartlett, they seem to have that one smothered.
Football foul. 94, illegal procedure on the black.
Well, there you get the call, illegal procedure.
Yeah, we talked on the playoffs, Perry, and it would be a shame, a real shame if this Streamwood team does not make the playoffs. 6 consecutive wins, and I know it's a tough, IHSA's got a tough situation to decide which teams make it and which don't, but one would think the rules could change.
And there you see Garcia goes into the middle on that play, and of course he's way shy of the first down. And
but you would hope, you would think they'd find some kind of way where if automatically they finish 6-3 instead of it being more objective on a point system. And again, I know it's a tough situation for IHSA. They're limited in the number of weeks. They can't interfere with the school week and stuff, so they do have those limitations. But somehow you would hope they'd find a way where every team that makes it 6-3 would make the playoffs, not just some of the teams based on points.
So here it is, 4th down, 4th, and we're going to call it 6. And they get straight ahead, nothing doing there. So Graziano was your quarterback that time, as everybody getting the action here. But on downs, the Bartlett defense holds.
Scott Hazelton, number 64, doing a nice job on that tackle, and Bartlett's defense coming up with a big stop.
So with 4:50 now remaining in the regulation time, we'll get another look at the Hawk offense.
Coach John Pageon's going to have to wait until Saturday night to get the phone call from the IHSA office. So There will be approximately 48 very nervous hours, I would think, for these Streamwood Sabre football players. You see the clock winding down, 42-7, and getting near the 4-minute mark of the ball game. Haven't seen DiMaria go long since early in the game when he was picked off. I would think he might throw deep coming up.
Instead, he keeps the football, and he keeps it up to the 40, close to the 48-yard line. A gain of 5.
A solid tackle, real solid tackle by number 25, Matt Berman, only a junior.
And we have a player injured on the field, which stops the clock at 4:05. And that busy Streamwood training staff running out to the field to attend to the injured player.
Athletic trainer and staff making a bid for our TCI player, person, or a group of the day.
And they would, I'm sure, just be as happy as they were anonymous and not called upon, but they've done a great job here tonight.
You know, Scott Brown started out with 251 consecutive attempts, and we'll check with our official statistician, as per always, the outstanding Stephen Baldwin, and check on attempts and see what his total is.
Todd Marin, the injured player, he gets up on his own power, walks off the field, number 28. And the clock is now rolling once again. Second and 5 at the 38-yard line. And here's the pitch around the left end. Botcher with some running room and gets the first down and more. A flag is down. And all the way to the 41-yard line of Streamwood.
Boy, that was a heck of a move, a little magician's act. Now you see me, now you don't. I don't know what Andrew Botcher was drinking at halftime, but whatever it is, take a couple more of those because he really has played a good second half.
And there was a flag thrown. Let's see what it's all about.
All right, we have unnecessary roughness on the black team, unnecessary roughness on the white team. It's the offsetting penalties.
Well, there you see the officials trying to keep this game in control and make sure it doesn't get chippy between these two potential rivals or neighbors. And let's take a look at it. And
we had some problems a little bit with trash talking a little bit back and forth in the sophomore game. It looks like it's carrying over a bit to the varsity game. Watch Betcher here. He's about to be tackled, makes a great leap over move, and picks up a lot of yards at the end of this play. Number 24, that's really a nice run.
Nevertheless, the offsetting penalties brings it all the way back to the 38-yard line. They'll do it all again. .323 remaining, and they changed the quarterback situation. Elijah is back at quarterback. Here's Chris. Keeps it himself, and he goes forward to the 46-yard line, picks up the first down.
Matt Ryan in on the tackle. That was not a broken play. That was designed and well executed by Elijah, who in the short time he's been in at quarterback's done a nice job. Only a junior. One would think he's got a chance at the challenging for that QB spot. 6 foot, 160. A little bit taller than DiMaria. Watch the drop back fake. Little bobble. Well, I take that back. Maybe it was a broken play. Either way, good yards. Nice tackle by Ryan, number 51.
And a 1st and 10 at the 43, and he goes looking upstairs, kind of thrown behind the receiver, however. And that was intended for Michael Bartlett. So Bartlett from Bartlett High School not able to bring that one in. And he'll set up a 2nd and 10. So on a very crisp and but lovely autumn evening here in Elgin. No wind at all, not a factor. First ever meeting between Bartlett and White and the Streamwood Sabres in their black uniforms. And there you see a nice run for first down yardage. And getting that first down was Jeff Bonsall. We've seen him be so effective defensively. There he gets the call offensively out of the backfield, picks up a first down.
Yeah, Chris Tilson finally brings him down, but watch the solid blocking up front. Nice kick-out block there by number 63, Drew Tegmeyer, and then it's off to the races for Bonsall. Like you said, a defensive star, backup running back, picks up big yards. Chris Tilson, number 36, coming into your screen, finally finishes him off, but Bartlett back on the march really in the second half. They played pretty even with Streamwood.
And now they're going for the end zone and knocked away nicely there by number 20, Dupree Couch. So the second backup defensive team. And the secondary does the job, number 20, Dupree Couch.
That's really the only the second time I can remember all game, not since early, has DeMaria gone deep. And you're right, Dupree Couch with a great defensive play to knock that up. That was a pretty well-thrown ball by DeMaria.
A lot of traffic in the area, as you could well imagine. 2:19 remaining now. Second and 10 at the 26-yard line. And, boy, wouldn't they love to punch one more into the end zone. They stay on the ground instead. And it'll bring up a third down situation. And once again, getting the call was Jeff Bonsall. So it'll be 3rd and 3. The ball about the 21-yard line.
Reminder again, at the end of the game, we will have our TCI player of the game. Jason Bell will be down there for the interview and the awarding of the plaque.
And if there was ever motion in the world, there was some right there.
If you're going to get the 5 yards, you got to get your money's worth, and that's exactly what Christopher Wagner, number 78, did. No problem.
Legal procedure against the right team.
Again, referee Don Brandt, 30 years of officiating, and this will be his final season.
Well, my daddy used to say in basketball, if you're going to follow him good. And certainly got his money's worth on that infraction. So the clock is running at 1:20 now. And don't forget, our TCI player of the game will be coming up. Jason Bell along the sideline. He stopped in the press box to warm up a little bit.
Looking for some free food.
And there you see, here's Rich. Here's Rich looking for the end zone for the second time tonight. From 24 yards out, Dustin Rich scores. And the Hawks are on the board once again.
And that was almost too easy for Dustin Rich. He's looking over his shoulder, waiting for any black jerseys to come after him. There was no one near. Watch the misdirection, little reverse action, and Dustin Rich and company fakes out the entire Streamwood defense, and he could literally walk into the end zone. Watch, he's looking over his shoulder. Who's coming at me? Tilson, the only guy even near him. But big play, nice drive, and the Bartlett Hawks showing very well here in the second half.
A nice seal blocking along that sideline to open up that alley for him. The extra point attempt is up, and it is no good. So with 1:03 remaining in our ball game, the Hawks, with a bright note for them, is second touchdown of the night for Dustin Rich, and they now trail it 42-13 here in your TCI of Illinois Game of the Week.
According to our unofficial records here, our superior statistician, Stephen Baldwin, giving us 22 attempts for Mr. Scott Brown. So the state record, if he doesn't play anymore, will hold at unofficially 273 consecutive passes. And again, to show how remarkable that is, the previous record, 175 by Ken Stopka from Palatine. So Scott Brown's going to have that record. Watch the play here. A little reverse action, takes advantage of Streamwood's over-aggressiveness on defense. Well set up. And Dustin Rich, who's had a heck of a ball game, picks up his second touchdown for the Hawks.
So it's now 42-13, and Bartlett will set it up for the kickoff, and DeMaria will do the honors. And trailing 42-13. One does not envision an onside, but nothing else for the practice of it.
I want to see Streamwood score one more time just so I can see the cheerleaders do the 49 push-ups.
And there's the onside kick. for the practice of it and nothing else, and they might get the football. They got the football on the onside kick. So with 1:01 remaining, Bartlett offense will have another crack at it.
Look like number 53 in there for Bartlett. We don't have his name down on our roster. He's the one who covered it. Beautifully done on the kickoff, the squib kick. Couple of Streamwood players had a shot at it, but Bartlett's able to recover, and Vince DiMaria is going to get one more shot to put some points on the board.
There you see some of the exuberant fans. And this has the makings of going to be a very interesting rivalry that will build up over the years. They got the jug, they got the bands, cheerleaders doing push-ups.
Share Millennium Field.
And Dustin Rich hauls in the broken pass. And Elijah was smacked right when he delivered it. And it just hung there, but it was Rich who was able to get under the football and catch it and pick up the first down.
And they're in their hurry-up offense here is Bartlett. That was the proverbial wounded duck. You'll get a look on the replay here. Ball batted. DiMaria puts it up, and the ever-present Dustin Rich, not the intended target, but showing great hands, showing great want-to, going after the football, coming up with the catch. Nice job by number 2-1.
And Elijah, the quarterback, he's got 3 or 4 Streamwood players there. And the pass is completed again for another first down. And that will stop the clock with 23 seconds to go as they move the chains. That was completed to Bartlett. And they get the clock rolling again. So Elijah looking for the end zone. The pass is caught.
Oh, man.
Once again, it is Dustin Rich.
13 seconds. The clock will start once they move the chains. But Chris Elijah, Dustin Rich and company has got a suddenly fired up Bartlett Hawks team on the march. This will leave a good taste in their mouth as they finish the season. Something to think about.
Elijah trying to go up and over, and he's into the end zone for the touchdown.
And if you're Coach Dick Stevens, you can't ask for anything more. A great offensive drive finished off by Elijah, just diving into the end zone. And for a young team, again, with everybody coming back, this is a great drive, a great way to finish their sophomore, their junior season. This is going to give them great momentum, I think, for next year. Watch here, Elijah just diving, laying out with the ball for the touchdown. I think they're going to have a quarterback battle in the offseason between Elijah, DiMaria, who I would think could easily turn into a running back. He's already a very good defensive back, and the sophomore Lewandowski.
Well, they'll set him down, going for 2. Here's the bobble reverse, and Rich picks up the loose football. This time he is hammered. He did not make it in the end zone, but they certainly made it interesting on the 2-point conversion attempt. So with 6 seconds remaining, it's now 42-19. But here's another look, just a nice dive up and over. He stretched it out and got it in the end zone, no question about it.
Got some solid blocking up front. 6 seconds left, Perry, in our last regular season game. We, of course, have to thank our producer and director today, Bob Reppin, and our usual outstanding TCI camera crew, the people in the truck, doing a great job. Faces not seen on the screen, names not always mentioned, but they really are the true heroes of the telecast here.
No question about it, especially on a cold evening and out there. And they get here early in the afternoon to set up the scaffolding and the camera positions, and dry cable, and so forth. And we really appreciate it, and I'm sure the viewers at home do as well.
Of course, Jason Bell has done a great job as our field reporter, and Steve Baldwin up here doing the stats. Certainly making our job a heck of a lot easier.
So 6 seconds remaining, and obviously this, as they say, the score looks better than not as close as indicated, but a good way to finish up with Bartlett. And this time the kick did not go. Well, it'll go maybe technically a yard.
Not going to help his average per yards kick stat. About a half a yard on that one, but one can only hope. No time ran off on that kick, but one can only hope that this is not the end for the Streamwood Sabres. It's 6 seconds left in the ball game. You really think you have to believe this team deserves to continue on playing. And if they get a shot at the state playoffs, they're going to have to get some help by the point system. But if they get in, they're going to be a dangerous team because they have clearly some momentum, and they, I think, could win a couple games at least.
And if Jackson comes back healthy, they got a lot of weapons. Got Jackson and Ward Jones and Brian Sloan, a couple of touchdown catches, tight end spot. Graziano, the simple handoff to Garcia, and that will bring the game to an end. The first ever game between these two clubs. The Bartlett Hawks, first year ever in varsity competition against the Streamwood Sabres, and pretty much it was all Streamwood here tonight at Memorial Field in Elgin. Your final score, Streamwood 42, the Bartlett Hawks 19. Back with our play of the game right after this.
A truck, a spool of cable, and a few people wanting more out of TV. That's all it took to start a cable company. A lot's changed since then at TCI. We grew and maybe lost sight of what's most important. You, our customers. So we're going to try to see things from your point of view. Do things a little differently and a lot better. TCI, we got the picture.
Join Maggiano's at the Suburban Affair Celebrity Chef's Brunch on Sunday, November 1st. Call 630-293-5990 for reservations.
Welcome back to Memorial Field in Elgin. Now let's go down on the field with Jason Bell and our TCI player of the game.
Well, guys, we're here with the TCI player of the game. It is Scott Brown. We don't have a replay of the play of the game, which happens to be Frank Granito getting bowled over on the sideline. We could have run that while we were waiting for Scott over there to finish up the wrap-up of the season. But, Scott, an unbelievable game, 13-24, but those aren't the gaudy numbers. 304 yards, 5 touchdowns, and, of course, the state record, which you keep smashing every time you go out there, 275 attempts unofficially without an interception. A big win for you guys.
Yeah, it was a great game. We're keeping our hope up, see if we're getting the playoffs. Keep going at it.
And, of course, we see that jug. Of course, you have the Streamwood side facing the camera because, of course, you guys won. What are you going to put in there?
I don't have a clue yet. We'll have to figure it out, see what team wants to do with it, put in the trophy case at school.
Now, the coach told us at halftime that he was going to bring the second string in the second half. He did for a short time, but then you guys came back in the ball game. What was the reason for that?
He just wanted the seniors one more time, get on the field, finish it up for the season if it's over, come out next week.
Coach told me before the game that you're being heavily recruited by a lot of schools. He told me Minnesota, which will make our play-by-play guy real happy. He's a Golden Gopher. Northwestern, Iowa, Miami, Florida. Are you leaning any way yet?
I'm open. I'll see what happens. Hopefully I'll get into somewhere. But I don't know. It looks like Iowa's pretty interested right now. See how it turns out.
What do you who in the NFL or even in college do you sort of like model yourself after? Because that one pass you threw on that first drive where you threaded that needle, I mean, that was an NFL pass.
I've always liked Joe Montana. He's been my guy since I was a kid. So.
That's the guy you look up to. Yeah, and number 16, I guess that would be the guy. And our TCI player of the game, Scott Brown, again, 304 yards passing, 5 touchdowns, and still the record holder for attempts without an interception. Here's the player of the game plaque that we're going to present to you, and a $100 donation will be made on your behalf to Streamwood High School, and a great win for you guys.
Okay, thank you.
Thanks, Scott.
Well, thank you very much. Congratulations to Scott Brown, and congratulations to the Sabres of Streamwood that went impressively here tonight. So, for our entire crew, this is Perry Williams saying thanks for watching. Don't forget, playoffs start next week right here on TCI. So long, everybody.
Here at TCI, we're proud to serve the community. And a big part of that is keeping a strong focus on the family. From the TCI Education Project to our involvement in local events, our goal is to put families first.
We believe Disney Channel adds value to TCI's expanded base of cable, and we're happy to support TCI in their goal of providing quality family programming that educates as well as entertains.
Family programming matters. TCI is committed to providing quality entertainment the whole family can enjoy, and we're going to keep that commitment.
As far back as I can remember, I've loved being in the kitchen, from cooking in my home growing up throughout my restaurant career.